Okay, so here we are. It's now been, at least 10 days to get to even this point. Now, there were issues that I did have to deal with, not the least of which, of course, was the finish of the guitar. I ended up having to paint the damn thing black, and when I went to put on the clear coat, I had issues dealing with that. That's not the only problem that I faced, though. If we can just sort of walk on over here and zoom in a bit, you'll notice a hole where there's not supposed to be a hole. That's simply because the guide marker I had on my drill bit when I went to seat the damn thing moved. Therefore, I punched a nice hole right through the fingerboard. Fortunately, it's in an area where play is not usually an issue, so I'll be able to deal with that. So we're almost done. The majority of the build part, as you can see as well, along this area here. If you can see this or not, I don't know, I doubt it. Right in here, I am going to have to do some touch-up work with paint, but that's not a big deal. The next step in this whole thing, of course, is getting the electronics put in, and that's something that's going to be happening in the not-too-distant future. In fact, probably right after I close the camera on this. So here we are now. It is wiring day. Going to have an awful lot of fun with this because, just as you probably noticed in the past, building skills are not all that great, and unfortunately, the electronic skills my father possessed did not come down to my generation. We will, however, give it the old college try. Hopefully, I don't screw things up too bad, and back in a couple of seconds. Well, of course, you knew this was not going to go well. I've had issues with the control pots for the tone and the volume for the guitar. I don't know if you can see it right now. It probably won't focus. There's a little tab, the one on your right. Now, that's supposed to be bent up and touch this pot, which will ground it out. Well, what a surprise. That little tang did not quite make it to the pot. So, I'm having to jury rig something. I'm having to attach another wire, which is something I was not planning on doing. And if that's not bad enough, just to complicate things even more, the soldering iron I bought was a piece of shit. So, quick run out to the local hardware store, buying a new soldering iron, which is now pushing the cost of this build pretty darn close to what I'd pay for a pre-built guitar anyway. Getting a little ticked off, as you might be able to gather from the tone of my voice. I apologize for that. I'm usually a pretty calm, cool, and collected guy, but when shit goes wrong, I ain't happy. Anyway, we're going to continue with the wiring and hopefully get this thing done. If not this take, then maybe who knows when. So the wiring is going, well, not really all that good, and I'll tell you why. We have to go in that cavity, as anybody who has ever built a guitar knows, these things. It's a capacitor, and I just burned myself with my soldering iron. Now, the problem is that they're supposed to be connected between that peg and that peg. Problem is, the little tangs on these things are too short. Surprise, surprise. So I'm having to jury rig even more wiring in here, which I'm not at all happy about, but hey, that's the way she goes. Okay, so all the wiring has now been done, and all I have to do basically now is put some strings on it and then start rocking out. As you can see, it's not really all that great a job, but hey, what do you expect? It was a kit that I ordered on eBay, and it took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to for obvious reasons. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. But given that, I think it turned out not too bad. Yeah, there are some issues here and there, which I'm not going to get into, and as you can tell by the top, there are some flaws in it that came from the manufacturer, plus maybe a ding or two that I put in it as well. But on the whole, yeah, not too bad a job. Would I ever do this again? I'm thinking probably not. It was a lot more work than I thought. I still have to put the knobs on there, by the way, too. You can probably see that, but that's not going to be a big issue. Same with the tailpiece and the bridge. I'll do that when I string it up. But anyway, like I was saying, would I do this again? Probably not. If I ever did do this again, what would I change? Quite a few things, quite frankly. Number one, I would buy a more expensive kit. something a little bit better quality. Again, you get what you pay for, and I paid about $200 Canadian for this, so, you know, who's going to complain, right? If I did do it again, I'd also do it in a different time of year. I don't know if you'd be able to see this or not, but it's winter where I live, and today it was minus 18 Celsius, which is 0 Fahrenheit, and I don't know if this is going to have resolution or not because the sun's streaming in there, but that's a look outside of what we're looking at winter-wise. So definitely, if I did do it again, I would probably do it in the spring, and again, if at all. Thanks for joining me on my journey. It's been one hell of a ride, to say the least. And now I just can't wait to get playing this thing. Cheers. I guess there is just one addendum that I'd like to make. And the guitar that I just built and had innumerable difficulties with is meant to not replace, but take over from this old guy. Now, this is an old Imperator. I've had this thing, oh gosh, it's well over, well, I'm going to say it's close to 45 years. It's an old Warhorse. It is in need of work. I mean, there are some issues with it, which I might just get replaced or repaired, because I still enjoy playing it, as poorly as I ever play. But that's pretty much what the new electrical is going to, again, not replace, but augment, I guess would be the right word. Thanks again. Hope you enjoy the vid.